Hey guys, Space Marine 658 here. Today we're going to be going over chorded actions and combos. Now these are a little bit of an advanced topic in the enhanced input system in Unreal Engine 5. So you're going to want to make sure you at least have your basics set up ready to go. But let's go ahead and hop into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what these systems actually are going to do by the end of this. So as you can see here, I have a system set up where if you press and hold the interact button, you're going to get the hold action. If you press and let go, you're going to get a single press action. And then if you double tap, you're going to get double tap action. So let's actually see how that prints out here. So what I want is when I press it once, I get a single press. If I quickly double tap, I get a double tap. And then if I press and hold, I get a hold. Now, as you notice, when I'm doing those, I'm not getting any overlap between them. So that way I only fire the specific action I want the player to do when they hit that button. Now, the cool thing is, as you can see here, it's a relatively simple setup when we get to the actual player. And this suggestion was brought to us by a gentleman of the Discord named Ocean. If you'd like to leave suggestions, you can either leave them in the comments down below, or you can join the Discord where you can reach out either directly or inside the Discord you can leave suggestions as well. So let's start off in the actual mapping section here. So the first thing you want to do is create the input actions that you want to actually do. So for me, I have an interact, and that is my hold action. And then I have a double tap. Now, both of these are set up pretty simply. I have a little bit of a description here in interact because this is the one I actually allow rebindings on. And then this interact double tap just takes those keys from the base interact. And so the way it does that is inside your IMC, you're going to want to set it up in this way. So the interact itself has the F key by default, which of course I have a tutorial on how to set up key binding, but just by default I have it set up to F. And if you press and hold it for that 1 second, which you can set this to a lower time, that's just the threshold I set myself. Technically, you can set this to any time. I think even below technically what the double press is. Just be aware that the lower this is, the more likely you might have some overlap. So you set it to 1 second, it's a press and hold, a very firm one. And then you want to make sure that is a one shot so that it only fires the one time. So you press and hold, and then it'll only do the one action. You don't have to keep holding, because if you keep holding, it'll keep flipping back and forth. Now, if that's what you want, if you want to press and hold and have it go through the action multiple times, you can do so. But I set it up as a one shot. And then for the interaction double tap, it is a combo, the beta section. So you want to, in here, you're going to have a lot of options. You want to make sure you select combo. So by doing the combo, what happens is you basically want to have it to be set to that interact action. And what that does is it takes the key from the interaction. So this way, when you override your key for interact, you don't have to change it also for the double tap. So that's just how it works by default. You actually can see here with the combo key here, you can't actually set a specific key for it. So you want to make sure to set it to interact, set it to cancel. Now I set my time to press to 0.2. This means that players have 0.2 milliseconds to actually hit that button twice in a row, or else it'll hit the canceled section. And as you can see here, this all looks great. So let's go ahead and come back here. So once you have that set up like that, then all you need to do is just fire off whatever actions you're doing off of your actual input action. So you see here, interact goes off of triggered, because that means this will only fire once the hold trigger has actually fired. And then the double tap, once you've hit canceled, what it's going to look for is if the elapsed time of the double tap is less than 0.5 seconds. So that's that actuation threshold. If it's less than 0.5, that means the player isn't still holding the key, expecting it a hold action. If it is greater than that, then they're probably holding it for the hold key. Therefore, we're not going to actually fire off the single press. That's to prevent overlap between holding it down for the hold press and just doing a single press, because otherwise this canceled will get fired every time you press and held this for the hold key, and usually you don't want that. And then off of the completed, I have my double tap, so whenever I finish that double tap, this will call the completed action. Now this is for specifically when we're looking at combos. This is a great way to actually get your combo system up and working, so that way you can combine keys in this way. Now, let's say instead you wanted to actually do chorded action. So this is where you will combine multiple keys and then fire off a single input action like I have here. So you see this one's completed. This only fires if I press the caps lock key and the F button. So what does that actually look like in here? Well, we go down. All it is I've got two input actions as well. I have my hold condition. So this is the button that I'm going to be using to actually, fire off other things. So like, for example, when you're copy pasting, you do Control C, Control V. Control is then your hold condition. So you want to make sure you have a hold condition. And for me, I have it set up as the caps lock button or the gamepad face button top. Now you can set that whatever you like, but that's just what I have mine set as. And then you want the actual action that you want to fire with that chorded action. So inside of here, I have my F key, just like I do for my interact button. In theory, this could be any button. I put it as my interact because I like that meshing. To me, it meshes very well. So when I hit caps lock F, that is what I expect. And as you can see there, it didn't fire off my interact buttons because this is a separate input action. So by doing so, when I hit caps lock F, it's instantaneous and it doesn't fire off any of the other actions. And so what you do is once you have both of these in here and you've got the key set to here, you're going to want to make sure you add the trigger of a chorded action. And that chorded action needs to be that hold condition. And I have my actuation threshold at 0.5. So all that means is when you hit caps lock F, it basically looks and goes, oh, you're already holding the hold condition when you hit the F key, because it's going to look at both of these. But the chorded actions take priority. And since I'm hitting caps lock F, it's going to go, oh, you're holding it. Yeah, you've been holding that caps lock already, so you're holding it for long enough. Boom, instantly opens up that view. But yeah, it's a very simple overview, but that is the basics of chorded and combo actions. Of course, you can always combine combo actions into more complicated schemes, so you can get some pretty cool things going on with actual combos. But just for basics, just to make a more useful control scheme, that's all you need to do. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down below. But otherwise, good luck and good hunting.